go.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the second game in this best of 3 series between mouzThorZaIN, here spawning as the red Terran in the lower left starting position of Zelnaga Caverns, versus LiquidRet, the blue Zerg, up here on top. And with me I have Hydra X, our super dude commentator. How are we doing?
Yeah, doing fine, and boy, I just want to watch this game too, because game 1 was beastly, tremendous. You just cannot let Red macro. If you leave him alone doing his thing, all of a sudden you're just gonna have a million Zerglings in front of you. It's not good.
Not good at all, but we don't always get to see Red reach that stage of the game. Often he is stopped in his tracks ahead of time, and that's when the opponent can get the advantage of him, because he is somewhat predictable in his style. He likes to overdrone, and that can be abused, but if not stopped, it's unstoppable.
Well, if you recall on game 1, I was commenting that Red was going into macro mode, just grabbing hatcheries, trying to get this economy as solid, as strong as possible. And ThorZaIN might had a chance there to make a timed push, a strong timed push, and try to break Red in. But instead of doing that, he decided to go for a fast expand as well. And on that moment, he's just saying, okay, Red, I'm going to play the macro game with you. Let's see who's going to do the best. And well, surprise, surprise, ThorZaIN.
Surprise indeed. But here we see a double barracks going up for ThorZaIN, so it seems like he has learned something from that mistake. ThorZaIN, of course, is the winner of the Team Liquid Star League number 3, but maybe he is not a superior macro player when compared to Rat, and in this game he will go for some quick early marine aggression against a hatchery first build from Rat, which could be very susceptible to attack.
Indeed, especially on this map, because the Natural Expo is hard to defend. There's a lot of accesses or lots of ways of advancing and approaching that Natural Expo and start destroying it. And ThorZaIN, with these 2 racks opening, he will be able to put up a lot of aggression early on if he wishes to. At least pump out like a group of 6, 7, 8 Marines and try to reach this Natural Expo from Rat before he has any kind of proper defense. Keep in mind that the Rat doesn't even have his spawning pool finished yet. He's taking care of it now, meaning that you won't be having Zerglings for a little while, and also won't be having Zergling speed anytime soon. So risky maneuver here by Rat, and he's gonna have to defend this.
Yes, a more careful player would have cancelled that hatchery and fortified his base with spine crawlers and Zerglings trying to get a choke here at the ramp that would be impenetrable, but not Red. He's going to let that hatchery finish, it seems like, and indeed he will be up for a severe challenge here. Bunker going down for ThorZaIN,
oh, yeah.
Drones coming out, Zerglings in production, 8 of them, but they're nowhere near having speed. A queen is on the way as well. Here at the natural it will be spawned, but I must say ThorZaIN, he's in a very good position to take this game.
Yeah, this is going to be Rat in dire straits, but Rat is used to do this. Rat is used to have this kind of defense, pulling his workers out of the line, try to finish off bunker rushes. He already has plenty of Zerglings, as you can see, meaning that if he's getting his Zergling speed soon enough, he will be able to defend this. Also, that bunker is way too far away to poke at the Natural Expo, at the hatchery, and probably going to have to see ThorZaIN bringing another SCV to make a second bunker close by, or else this bunker rush might not be going as planned. Notice that the Queen was defending this very well, backed up by some Zerglings, and finally that spine crawler popped up. It's almost hurt, but still he has another static defense to help out defending that Natural Expo. And at the same time, we do notice that ThorZaIN is not sending that many forces anymore. I think he's going to attempt one more poke at it, and if it doesn't pay off, he's going to try to transition into more of an economy build and prepare his mid-late game. As
indeed he is doing. Command center and double gas going up in his main base, and it seems like he has decided to let that push let this be it regarding the push. He should retract these 3 Marines or he'll stand to lose them. He's positioning them here outside the gold base there. But indeed, Ret, as you say, is used to this, because he has to be. He does this opening all the time, more or less, a very economy-centric and risky build, and hence he's very good at defending it as well. 5 Marines now moving up. Seems like ThorZaIN is still thirsty for blood. But this Queen and beautiful Zergling micro is backed up with a spine crawler will be able to combat this, considering that the creep is now spread so far out. So Ret definitely taking the win there, I'd say, because he got an expansion up minutes before ThorZaIN will be able to do the same. He's got 26 drones to 24 harvesters of ThorZaIN, but that will only continue to extend, and very nicely done by our Liquid player. Double factories now going up with mouzThorZaIN, and I suspect we get to see Hellions coming out soon.
Yeah, well, very well defended there by Ret. No questions asked about that. He's probably now going to try to chew on these Marines and put them away from the Xel'Naga watchtower so he can even have map control while playing out of 2 bases. We do witness mouzThorZaIN preparing his command center, so he's planning ahead to establish his natural expo there and playing out of 2 bases soon enough. But the problem is that at the moment on the economy, we do see Ret pulling ahead, and now that he doesn't have any aggression whatsoever on his door, he's going to be able to macro like a monster, which is basically what he loves. He's just going to make huge batches of workers, and mouzThorZaIN is the one that needs to do something about this, because if he lets Ret macro like he wants once more, he might be in trouble. Also, notice that mouzThorZaIN is going to get an interesting unit composition here once more. 2 factories will allow him to put out a lot of mech units early on, so we might be seeing an army with obviously some bio in it, but with a nice mech mix in it.
Which is very nice indeed, and far from standard. Now Ret sacrificing an Overlord in order to get a vision of this, and I do believe he will have more than an inkling about what's waiting for him. Having a closer look, we see that Ret did spot both factories, so he knows exactly what he's up against, and he will be able to prepare. This needs to work with mouzThorZaIN, because he is behind in economy, and we can see how Ret is continuing to produce drones. He never stops. He's got it was 49, turn 53, as I said it, a Harvester versus the 37 of mouzThorZaIN. I mean, he'll have a gold expansion up in a minute or 2. So mouzThorZaIN needs to make something happen now, if not yesterday, and it seems like he's doing just that, but I'm not too sure this is enough, Hydra.
Well, he's preparing a push here, and also landing his orbital command on the natural exo, meaning that finally he's going to be working out of 2 bases. But notice that Ret is already finishing a macro hatchery on his natural expo, meaning that he wants a lot of production coming out soon, and he did a roach warren on his main base. So he might be trying to rack up a lot of roaches and make a push with roaches and zerglings, see if he can break mouzThorZaIN before he has a lot more units that he has at the moment. We do see that there's plenty of Hellions advancing north, and all of them with Infernal Pre-Igniter. Keep that in mind. So this is going to be dangerous, and Ret is taking a really big risk here. He's committing himself to a very strong macro game, a very strong economy, and getting another hatch, a 4th one, and it will be his 3rd base on that rich mineral field. But these Hellions are just basically roasting everything that moves, and finally the roaches arriving to start spewing some acidic saliva to them so they could push them back. So Ret can commit himself to his economy play and keep droning up like a beast, like he always does. Look at the amount of drones he already has going back and forth on his natural expo. He's getting ready to transfer. He just needs to get rid of those Hellions.
Indeed, and now adding a Baneling nest as well as Glial reconstitution to his roaches. If he is allowed to continue, he will be at such a superior advantage, and he's taking so many risks in order to get there, but so far mouzThorZaIN has not been able to stop him, only taking down a few Zerglings, a Queen, and a couple of creep tumors during his last assault. And this is Ret's weakness as well as his strength, but soon he will be in that macro mode where he is nigh unstoppable.
Well, as you can see, I'm finding really funny, really interesting the SimCity by mouzThorZaIN. Notice him closing all accesses to his natural expo. Everything is shut down with very sturdy buildings. Well, there's some supply depots, might be the weak spot on the wall, but still he's trying to get some solid walls here. And at the same time, he's trying to just saturate as much as possible these 2 mineral lines. And notice that still, because Ret is playing out of 3 bases with 4 hatcheries, notice the economy is so ahead at the moment on worker count, 20 more workers, and also over 2,000 on the income. This is just going to be brutal. It's time for mouzThorZaIN to make some kind of push, maybe timed on his upgrade level 1, or he might just be allowing Ret to go too further on his economy, I would say.
Indeed, this is getting close to a very defining battle here. Ret moving in with a couple of Zerglings, but they'll have no way. Oh, actually, the supply depot is lowered,
they
so
got
they're
them.
getting inside definitely. But mouzThorZaIN is mounting a counter push at the same time, losing SCVs, but attacking the gold expansion hatchery, and this is a formidable force indeed. And as always, Ret is susceptible to not having enough attacking units when the push ensues. Baneling speed finishing just now, and looking quickly at the unit count, 24 Banelings, 12 Roaches and 34 Zerglings, with lots of upgrades on the way, and This could definitely be difficult for ThorZaIN to handle. It comes down to positioning right now, but we see how beautiful this wall-in now works. The Zerglings will not be able to get in a second time, and this is turning into a most interesting game, Hydra.
Indeed, and ThorZaIN is trying to make a siege line, and incoming Ret with all of his Zerglings, Banelings and Roaches is going to try to destroy the siege line that ThorZaIN was getting close. Oh, massive damage done there with the Roaches basically just melting all that Marine flesh, and there's not much left of Ret forces. He's pulling back, withdrawing his forces, but he was able to crush that siege line that ThorZaIN was establishing there, and now with these Roach forces, I'm pretty sure he's going to be able to just put ThorZaIN back into his place, back into his natural expo, and ThorZaIN will have to reconsider his options, because we do see that Ret is expanding once again. I think he's preparing to grab that base on the right side. I'm not sure exactly if that's going to be the case, because at the same time he was pushing with his Roaches, but when he faced this bottleneck here with all the buildings making a fairly sturdy wall on the access to the natural expo, he decided to pull back. There were way too many siege tanks there destroying his Roaches, and now with Ret just committing himself again to his macro play and grabbing a fourth base where his third is supposed to be if you don't go for the rich mineral field. So I guess he wouldn't be going for that one on the right side that I was mentioning, where you can see the Overlord's pooping creep. I guess he just went for that one on the more safe place, and this is just going to keep boosting Ret's economy. At the moment, the Harvester worker is the worker count is so different already, and also on the supply count there's a massive difference that I'm hoping for ThorZaIN to decide to make a stand and make a push here, or else he will get to that moment where Ret will be just unstoppable.
Indeed, and he's actually placing tanks on top of the ledges here in order to fortify his push. And this is a deadly Terran army, but Ret is close to the point where he is in full Zerg macro mode. His infestation pit is finished, and he's now going for an attack in the back here. We'll be able to take down a couple of siege tanks, but this is again a most formidable force, and Banelings clashing with Marines to the north, and it seems like he has all but obliterated ThorZaIN's attack force. Only siege tanks left standing and 2 Marines, and Ret will be able to mass almost rebuild his forces ever so quickly. However, ThorZaIN is far from out of this. He is a very strong macro Terran, and he's got all the production facilities he needs. He needs to expand soon, yes, but he's laying siege to Ret's gold expansion, and it's anyone's game right now, though. If Ret is allowed to continue, he will win. Now another attack is mounted. Marines being shot at and the siege tank going down. Make that 2. And Ret's Roach army is very tough to beat right now. But they are retreating. The Marines are very evil in what they do. And a bunch of Overlords going down, almost putting Ret in negative supply.
Yeah, and notice that Ret is just being relentless, making more and more units, throwing them at ThorZaIN. He doesn't want to have ThorZaIN really close to his rich mineral field. He knows how important the income coming from there is. But at the moment, he doesn't have much of an army. He's trying to replenish it right away, and I'm not sure if it's going to be in time, because as you can see, ThorZaIN is just step-by-step advancing towards that rich mineral field, and he's probably going to snipe it.
Indeed, and now he's getting pathogen glands where it's infested. Had he had fungal growth before, things could have been very different. I don't know how many Banelings are building, but there are very many. But ThorZaIN is very good at spreading them. He is not allowing Ret to be as effective as he wants to. And now an infestor almost going down. The rich mineral field has fallen. Ret instead goes for counter-offensive on this newly formed planetary fortress, but no dice. He will be pushed back, and Ret is now starting to lose his advantage that he has built so carefully.
Oh yeah.
Maybe because of recklessness or over-droning, but now the Banelings are rolling, no, they are retracting, and now he's going for that ninja hatchery on the 3 o'clock-ish position, but ThorZaIN is aware of it, so that will probably not last for long. Going for another attack at the planetary fortress. Is this wise, Hydra?
Oh, massive damage here. It is a nice shot. He didn't do as much damage as he expected, I'm assuming, because there's still plenty of bioforces left, but he was able to stop the works, the production on the rich mineral field, basically paying up for the snipe that he got on his own rich mineral field, basically doing a payback there to ThorZaIN. And we do see ThorZaIN now advancing north. He's going to try to focus fire on this 4th base from Ret and try to dwindle down his economy. Keep in mind that at the moment you have Ret playing out of 3 bases. One of them is going to get sniped right away, so meaning that now he's stuck on only 2 bases, and those 2 bases are the initial ones. So he doesn't have much of a mineral line on any of them anymore, and his economy is going to start hurting really bad unless he transfers a lot of workers to that new 3 o'clock position that he placed the hatchery on. But as you guys...
right now.
As you guys could notice, there was a Marine there, meaning that ThorZaIN knows that that place is alive and kicking, and I'm pretty sure he's going to try to finish it off. And the incoming Ret, once again, a lot of Banelings, with ThorZaIN getting a beautiful Marine micro, getting some Marine splits, trying to avoid most of those Banelings. Ret still doing a lot of damage, killing most of that Bioforce, but not enough, and the forces from Ret are just slowly dwindling. His economy is really hurt, and seems like that at the moment we have ThorZaIN just trying to turn the table and turn the wheel on his favor.
Indeed, Ret is managing to take out so many forces of ThorZaIN all time long, but it seems like somehow there's always more left, and ThorZaIN seems more or less unstoppable. Ret, he had this game before, but somehow ThorZaIN took it from him. Now he's losing plenty of Marines there, but loading them up in a medevac, and it all comes down to this 3 o'clock expansion. If Ret can hold it, he will be able to compete, because ThorZaIN only got the goal, but that is of course superior, and it seems like Ret, if he can take it out and make sure ThorZaIN does not re-expand to it, the game is his, but that is far from certain. Another fungal growth, that's definitely a way to get back here. But only Zerglings won't suffice, he needs more than that, and I see a medevac moving up from the south will be able to put a lot of hurt onto Ret's expansion, but he is aware he's got Zerglings positioned, or rather had, and it all comes down to these very few battles occurring right now. Drones going down.
Yeah, and notice that Ret on his economy is getting really hurt. He doesn't have anything else. He's long-distance mining to that 3rd base position, while we have ThorZaIN just poking at prodding at all of Ret's bases, not allowing him to have a proper economy, and this is going to show on the army count soon enough. As you can see on the supply, we finally have ThorZaIN leading the way, 111 against 100, and he's trying to make small pushes, small skirmishes into what's left of Ret's bases. So Ret is struggling here. He needs to put an end to this guerrilla tactics by ThorZaIN, or else he's gonna have to GG out of this match. This is getting really hairy for him.
Yes, and now ThorZaIN is sniping drones and possibly even the hatchery here at
ooh, nice fungal.
3rd, 4th-ish base. Yes, here's a very nice fungal coming up right now. And I do believe that the hatchery will stand, but for how long? ThorZaIN got command over the right Samaga watchtower, continues to be annoying with these Marines in the medevac. Seems like that's all but thwarted right now, only 1 remaining. But Ret is being pushed back relentlessly, and ThorZaIN's got the gold. He is mining it out very quickly, but having a look at the income tab, you see him being 2k ahead of Ret's not even 500.
Yeah, it's
make
brutal.
that make that 3k. ThorZaIN is making a lot of money, and Ret is not, and Ret actually GG's in a very anticlimactic way, in a way that, well, I thought he'd take this. I'm a bit surprised.
Well, on the early stages, it seemed like that ThorZaIN was allowing him to just macro, and he would be having a tremendous army, but he kept sending waves and waves of Zerg forces clashing against ThorZaIN's units, and ThorZaIN was able to resist, to defend it. And now if you take a look at ThorZaIN's rich mineral field, look at the amount of mules that he had working there. So basically he was getting a tremendous boost on his economy to make a final push to get a killing blow onto Ret. And the Ret realized that. He didn't have much else. He had most of his bases completely exhausted, and with all of that harass on that 3 o'clock position and the 3rd base he was attempting to establish, Ret just witnessed the obvious. He knew that he was falling way behind, and I'm pretty sure he wants to just try to get his best over ThorZaIN on the 3rd match. With the series tied now, we have to go now for that ace match.
Indeed, the ace match coming up, the best of 3 versus ThorZaIN and LiquidRet will be concluded next, so GG and don't miss that. Thanks for now, dear viewers.
See you guys, have fun.